So since this is the first episode, we are gonna talk a little bit about how I got the car, where I got it from, and the story behind the car. So a few years ago, I bought this car, kind of an impulse thought. I sold my S13 with an RB, and I figured since I had some money now, then I wanted to get a Supra. And of course the Supra prices are kind of insane now. So I started hunting, and I got a few phone numbers, and I called few of them, and they all had Supras for sale, but they were way out of my budget. So it used to be a running and driving car that got used for parts, and when I pretty much bought it worse than this. I have cheated a little bit and done some work before. So I bought this car because I wanted a street Supra and been working on it here and there for the last couple of years, but now I'm focused, I'm locked in, and now it's gonna be a complete build. So the story behind the car is that it's been sitting on a shelf for 12 years at some guy on another island here in Denmark. So he used it for parts, and the chassis was too good to throw away. So when I bought it, it didn't have a front subframe, it didn't have a rear subframe, it didn't have doors, it didn't have pretty much anything. It had the wiring harness and the interior pretty much. So now's the fun part. Yesterday I went to pick up like the heart of the car, a new engine. So that's what we're gonna do a little bit about today. So let me tell you a little bit about the engine. This is a complete front subframe that got taken out of a Sora. So it's got the big brakes, it's got a 2JZ GTE non-VVTi, so that's kind of different from the Pro car, which has a VVTi. It's completely stock. It's been in a road car here in Denmark, so it's kind of limited what you can do. So it's got the stock twins, it's got stock injectors, it's got stock internals, stock everything. But we're gonna change that, of course. So this episode is gonna be about taking the engine off the subframe, cleaning it, and hopefully getting it on a engine stand. So I also bought another thing while I was there. So I bought the complete rear subframe, which has a diff and axles and brakes. And this is the 3 parts I need because I actually already have a subframe. So I got this powder coated alongside of some other parts, but I got it painted in like Nardo gray kind of color. That's of course gonna get some new bushings alongside everything else. So before we take everything outside to wash it, I'm gonna take off the brakes because I don't want to get them wet because they have been sitting for 4 years in the dry and there's pretty much no rust on them. So we're gonna keep it that way and take off the brakes before we wash everything. Okay. Very nice. So, because I don't have unlimited money, I'm gonna try and reuse these brakes because they are actually very good condition. The sun just came out. So we're gonna try and not damage them and use a rubber hammer, and if that doesn't work, I have a plan B that hopefully works. Yep, that didn't work. So now we're gonna try a wooden block and a hammer, a real hammer. And that worked. Nice. Also, I'm very curious to see if we can actually get these pistons back because, as I said, it has been sitting for over 4 years. Oh wow, that's actually much better than I expected. I'm just gonna... Oh yeah, that actually runs way better than I expected. It's not bad at all. These actually might not even need a rebuild. But of course they're gonna get painted because I don't want Sora all over my Supra. Oh yeah. And it doesn't look like these calipers have any leaks or anything, so that's of course amazing. Oh yeah. Nice. Easy peasy. And I actually learned something new just a moment ago, because I was about to mark the other disc, but it already has engraved left and right. So that's easy. So let's do the rear subframe now. I think I'm gonna wash it like the front subframe, because when I have everything out, I might as well. So getting the rear disc off might be a little more complicated than the front, because the Supras have the handbrake as a drum brake, and they can cause some issues sometimes. But let's hope. Well, that sucks. So this brake disc kind of sucks to get off. So we're gonna try and put the block on the back of it and try to strike it a little harder. Woo! That sucked. You can see all the brake dust that's been in there for a few years now. But rotor looks good. No issues. That's fine. So the reason I'm hitting here is because the drum brakes are probably seized to the inside of the disc. So you can see here where it's a little more not rusty. It's the part where the e-brake, this part here. So when that's hitting it, I'm trying to see if I can knock it loose a little bit. Nice. That was all 4 discs. Let's see if these are seized or not. I don't think they are, because they look pretty good, but yeah, fingers crossed. For this one, I'm hoping I only need the small plier. Oh yeah, Jesus. That flew all the way over to the bumper. Damn, that kind of sucks. And because brake fluid is acidic and this is plastic, I think it's a good idea to take some water on a piece of paper and try to draw it on. Because it would suck to have a rusty chassis after it's been rust free for so many years. Oh. But one thing's for sure, that the calipers are not seized, that's for sure. So that was the first one. So I'm gonna do the last one outside. I just wanted to show you real quick what it looks like when brake fluid is leaking, because this caliper has been leaking for sure. You can see the paint, it bubbles up because it's acidic, so it kind of it works as paint remover, and we don't want that on like everything else. We don't want it anywhere else than inside the caliper. So let's try and push this back and make less of a mess, hopefully. Jesus. So now that the brakes are done, we can take the subframe outside and we can start first blowing it off with first we can blow off all the dirt and stuff with a leaf blower, and then we'll use high compressed air, and then we'll pressure wash it. So let's do that now. So what I'm doing now is that I'm plugging up all the holes where I don't want water to come in. And what I like to do is take a rubber glove like this one, and if you have something that's sticking out and you need a cover, you can just rip off the finger and use a zip tie or something, and you can cover it up pretty good. Okay, cool. So 2J got washed, kind of. I did it as best as I could with the power washer. There's still some very dirty areas in the bottom, but it's looking a lot better. I don't know why I spent so much time washing the stock twin turbos, because I'm not going to use them. We're going single turbo for this build, but it's done now. So now we're going to drag the rear subframe out. We're going to give it a quick wash, because this subframe is going to get sold when I take out the diff and the axles. So yeah, let's do that now. So, got the engine back in and got the subframe back in and put it on like a dolly so it doesn't mess up the floor too much, even though this floor is pretty messed up. So I think that's it for today. So the next step is to get it off the subframe and get it on an engine mount so we can start tearing it down. But I don't want to tear it down until I have most off or almost all of the parts to rebuild the engine, because it's gonna get, yeah, some good stuff. So yeah, so I'm gonna go up now and order a bunch of parts and ruin myself financially. If you think this is fun, we're gonna do a full series on the car. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.